Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, about there being different versions of the Quran. No, there is only one version of the Quran, and that is the Holy Quran. Now, there are different translations, and there are even different translations in English, but every single Arabic copy is exactly the same. It begins with Surah Al-Fatiha, ends with Surah Al-Nas. And I have an Arabic and English, and two English translations. So I'm going to show you that it's, there's not different versions. It's all one. Every single one begins with Al-Fatiha, ends with Al-Nas. So here's the Arabic. You open the Arabic. And it begins with Surah Al-Fatiha. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Malik Yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. That is Surah Al-Fatiha. And then the last chapter, Surah Al-Nas. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Qul Rabbi al-Nas, Maliki al-Nas, Ilahi al-Nas, min shari waswasi al-Nas, alati waswisu fi sudari al-Nas, min al-Jannati wa al-Nas. Every Arabic copy will be exactly the same as that. This one has the Arabic and English, and it begins exactly the same. The writing is different, but it still says exactly the same thing. Surah Al-Fatiha. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Malik Yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta alayhim ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Slightly different writing, but it's the same. And if you look in the last chapter, that says exactly the same thing in Arabic. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Qul Rabbi al-Nas, Maliki al-Nas, Ilahi al-Nas, min shari waswasi al-Nas, alati waswisu fi sudari al-Nas, min al-Jannati wa al-Nas. This script is a little harder for me to read because it's just not what I'm used to reading, but it still says exactly the same thing though. And we'll start with the English. Arabic says exactly the same thing, and the English is very close. So you'll start with Surah Al-Fatiha, and it says, in the name of Allah, the most beneficent, most merciful. All praise due to Allah, Lord of the worlds, the beneficent, the merciful, Master of the Day of Judgment. Thee do we serve, and thee do we beseech for help. Keep us on the right path, the path of those whom thou hast bestowed favors, not the path of those whom thy wrath is brought down, nor of those who go astray. And then back to the last chapter. Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of men, King of men, God of men, from the evil of the whispering of the slinking shaitan, who whispers into the hearts of men, from among the jinn and men. And that is the English first and last chapter. And then we have the Clear Quran, which is completely English. But it says, in the name of God, most compassionate, most merciful, all praises for God, Lord of the worlds, most compassionate, most merciful, Master of the Day of Judgment. You alone we worship, and you alone we ask for help. Guide us along the straight path, the path of those you have blessed, not those you are displeased with or those who are astray. And then we go to the last chapter. How nice. Say, O prophet, I seek refuge in the Lord of humankind, Master of humankind, the God of humankind, from the evil of the lurking whisper who whispers into the hearts of humankind, from among jinn and humankind. Then we have this English translation. Let me go through first. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, praise be to Allah, cherisher and sustainer of worlds, most gracious, most merciful, master of the day of judgment. Thee do we worship, and thine aid we seek. Show us the straight way, the way of those whom thou hast bestowed thy grace, those portion who is not wrath, and who go not astray. And then go all into the end. Al-Nas. Say, I seek refuge with the Lord, cherisher of mankind, King of mankind, the God of mankind, from mischief of the whisperer of evil, who withdraws after his whisper, the same who whispers into the hearts of mankind, among jinn and mankind. See, it's not different versions, it's different translations. It says exactly the same thing in English. Different way of wording it in English. But the Arabic says exactly the same thing, and every single Arabic copy says exactly the same thing. Every single one will start with Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, and it will end with Al-Nas. It's nothing like the Bibles, who have multiple versions, where they have removed some books, like the Maccabees. The Catholic book, the Catholic Bible has different amount of books than the Protestant. The Protestant different amount than the standard. It's all different. I mean, who decides which books to keep or to keep out, right? I mean, shouldn't you include all the books? I mean, who decides which ones are right? But the Quran is only one. Only one. Nothing has ever been added or removed. And you can go to the Birmingham Museum, and there's a carbon dated copy. It says exactly the same thing as this. I promise you. Exactly the same thing. Anyway, assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.